For many, nature is a sanctuary of peace and beauty, a place to escape the chaos of daily life. But beneath its serene surface lies a darker, creepier side. From unsettling creatures to eerie phenomena that seem plucked from a horror movie, nature has an uncanny way of reminding us who's really in charge. Today, we'll dive into 15 of the creepiest things found in nature, where beauty and terror intertwine in ways you'd never expect. Hold tight because it's about to get eerie. Let's kick things off with number 15, the mysterious night laughter. In 2013, residents of the Umatilla Reservation in Oregon experienced an eerie phenomenon that defies logic. Night after night, over 120 locals reported hearing cackling laughter echoing through the darkness. Some described it as unnerving, others downright supernatural. Animals like foxes or coyotes are often blamed for strange noises in the wild, but the locals insisted this sound was different. Even a tribal leader recounted his encounter with an unexplainable 18-inch footprint while hunting in the Blue Mountains nearby. With no official explanation, rumors swirled about supernatural entities or even Bigfoot. The idea of Sasquatch skulking through the forests of Oregon added fuel to the fire, sparking debates and fear. The mystery remains unsolved, leaving us to wonder, what could make such an eerie, haunting sound? Was it an animal, a prank, or something otherworldly? Until answers surface, the Umatilla cackles will remain an enigma. Number 14. Spider Tent. Camping is supposed to be a peaceful retreat into the wilderness, unless you wake up in a horror scene. In 2020, Theranan Ake from Tak, Thailand, experienced exactly that when they awoke to find their tent covered in hundreds of harvestmen, often known as daddy long legs. These long-legged arachnids blanketed the surface of the tent in a scene straight out of a nightmare. While these creatures aren't venomous and don't bite humans, the sheer number crawling together is enough to make anyone's skin crawl. Scientists aren't entirely sure why harvestmen cluster like this, but theories range from predator deterrence to temperature regulation, or, disturbingly, mating. If the thought of hundreds of bugs gathering for a love fest while you sleep doesn't make you swear off camping, nothing will. And yet, nature's horrors don't stop there. Sometimes it's not just what's crawling on you, but what's lurking beneath your feet. Number 13. The hollow tree's dark secret. Hollow trees evoke a sense of wonder, but they can also hide ominous secrets. In 2024, the social media group Travel Slayers explored an ancient tree they claimed was over 1,000 years old. Peering inside its hollow trunk felt like stepping into a portal to another world. Hollow trees form naturally as fungi decay the core wood, leaving a cavity behind. While the living sapwood remains unharmed, these voids become ideal homes for various creatures. However, not all tenants are harmless. In 2014, during the Ebola outbreak in West Africa, a hollow tree in Guinea became infamous. Children played around it, unaware it was home to Angolan free-tailed bats, potential carriers of the deadly virus. The bats may have been the initial source of the outbreak that devastated the region. A hollow tree may seem like an innocent wonder, but be cautious. You never know what might be lurking within its shadowy depths. Now, let's move to Number 12. Crinoid fossils on the shore. Beaches often hide secrets, but few compare to the unsettling sight of crinoid fossils. These ancient marine creatures, resembling robotic appendages straight out of a sci-fi horror film, are remnants of a world long gone. Crinoids, often called sea lilies, belong to the echinoderm family, sharing lineage with starfish and sea urchins. Their unique structure includes a stalk anchoring them to the seabed, with feathery arms extending to capture food. Though their fossils appear mechanical, crinoids were very much alive, thriving over 500 million years ago. What makes them so creepy is their super uncanny resemblance to something manufactured, not natural. Preserved in calcite, their fossils remain eerily intact, as if waiting to awaken. Finding crinoid fossils washed up on shores is a reminder of Earth's ancient, alien-like past. While they're fascinating, you can't help but feel a chill imagining what it would have been like to encounter these creatures alive. Number 11. The March of Millipedes. In 2024, Taiwan's Sheipa National Park became the stage for a chilling spectacle, a mass migration of millipedes. Tour guide Yang Xiaozhong stumbled upon what looked like a moving carpet, stretching nearly 10 feet wide and 50 yards long. It was a writhing sea of countless millipedes, undulating across the forest floor. While Yang had never seen anything like it in over a decade of guiding, scientists speculate that such migrations are triggered by environmental changes. A series of earthquakes in the area days before could have disturbed their habitats, forcing them to seek new ground. This isn't the first time such an event has been recorded. In 1920, train tracks in Japan were halted by waves of migrating millipedes, a phenomenon occurring roughly every 8 years. These insects live in synchrony with this peculiar cycle, driven by hunger and reproduction. Creepy as it is, it's a natural marvel, just one you'd rather see from a distance. Number 10. Frog Got Your Tongue. Back in 1992 in Ontario, Canada, high school student Deidre stumbled upon something straight out of a nightmare. While in her garden, she spotted a frog sitting oddly still, its eyes seemingly closed. Picking it up, she discovered something horrifying. Its eyes weren't shut. They were fused to the roof of its mouth. The frog, which she named Gollum, had a rare mutation. Its functional eyes only worked when its mouth was open, staring back in an unsettling display. Scientists suggest this deformity could have occurred during its development, with the retinas growing downward into its palate. While some pointed to parasites like Riberoia, known for causing deformities in frogs, there's no definitive explanation for this phenomenon. Deidre kept Gollum as a pet, fascinated and horrified by her unusual discovery. Rare cases like Gollum remind us that nature often blurs the line between the miraculous and the macabre, leaving us both in awe and unease. Number 9. Coral Calamity. Picture this. You're wandering through the sweltering desert of Al Ula in Saudi Arabia, the heat so intense it distorts your vision. In the distance, you spot something strange, a massive, pustule-covered growth rising from the barren sand. But don't worry, it's not a mirage. This is Coral Alchemy Warn, a 2022 installation by artist Shahzad Dawood. Inspired by the knowledge that Al Ula was once submerged under what became the Red Sea, Dawood created this striking sculpture to evoke the marine life that thrived here 10 million years ago. Measuring over 7 feet long, 8.5 feet tall, and 11.5 feet wide, the piece is as imposing as it is mesmerizing. Crafted from resin, metal, and thermochromic paint, the sculpture's colors shift with the temperature, mimicking the vibrant hues of living coral. Both eerie and captivating, coral alchemy. It reminds us that even in the harshest deserts, traces of the ocean's ancient beauty remain. Number 8. I Want My Mummy. We've all dreamed of stumbling upon buried treasure, prehistoric fossils, or ancient artifacts. But in 1934, 2 prospectors in Wyoming, Cecil Main and Frank Carr, unearthed something they never expected. Blasting into the San Pedro Mountains, the explosion revealed a cave, and inside sat a small, desiccated figure. This 6.5-inch mummy had protruding eyes, darkened skin, and a misshapen head, prompting immediate speculation. Many believed it was one of the little people from Shoshone mythology, said to wield tiny bows and poisoned arrows. The duo, however, decided to profit from the oddity, selling it to a sideshow where it became a macabre attraction. Anthropologist George Gill later suggested the mummy was likely an infant with anencephaly, a fatal birth defect. Unfortunately, its frequent change of hands meant it disappeared in the 1950s. In 2005, a museum offered $10,000 to locate it, hoping to challenge evolutionary science, but the mummy remains lost, leaving behind only mystery and myth. Number 7. Cobweb conifers. In 2010, devastating floods submerged over a fifth of Pakistan, affecting millions and leaving the Sindh region underwater for months. But amid the tragedy, locals noticed something peculiar: trees entirely enveloped in dense cobwebs. The prolonged flooding had driven millions of spiders into the trees, turning them into massive silken cocoons. The sight was otherworldly, like something conjured from a nightmare. However, there was a silver lining. Areas with spider-infested trees reported significantly fewer cases of malaria. The spiders feasted on mosquitoes that would have otherwise bred in stagnant floodwaters, creating an unintentional natural defense against disease. This eerie phenomenon was unprecedented and hauntingly beautiful in its own way. While arachnophobes might shudder at the thought, these cobwebbed trees served as a surreal reminder of nature's adaptability and its unexpected ability to balance destruction with resilience. If nothing else, it's proof that even the most unsettling sights can hold surprising benefits. Number 6. Fishing for nightmares. All this creepy talk is putting us on edge. How about a fishing trip to calm things down? Just you, us, and the waves. Sounds peaceful, right? Well, in 2017, Matt Mertz thought so too, until he reeled in something horrifying off the coast of Santa Cruz, California. His catch was a decent 27-inch lingcod, but when he looked closer, something squishy was lodged in its throat. Peering past the fish's serrated teeth, Mertz discovered an octopus, its tentacles grotesquely stuffed into the lingcod's mouth. The fish had likely eaten it just before being caught. Lingcod are known to feast on small octopi, but this one clearly bit off more than it could chew, literally. Even stranger, other aquatic oddities have surfaced over the years, from three-eyed fish off Greenland to a 96-tentacled octopus in Japan. Whether caused by pollution or genetic quirks, these bizarre catches show that the ocean holds more nightmares than you'd expect. Number 5. Underwater whatsits. Underwater discoveries have a way of creeping you out, even when they're not alive. In 2022, snorkelers in Port Phillip Bay, Australia, spotted something that could only be described as alien-like. Massive dome-shaped structures, each about 6 feet wide, were scattered across the seafloor like giant eggs ready to hatch. Thankfully, these weren't extraterrestrial pods, but erosion mitigation units, artificial reefs designed by Melbourne's Reef Design Lab. Crafted from concrete and oyster shells, these structures serve a vital purpose, reducing coastal erosion and creating habitats for marine life. With intentionally rough surfaces, EMUs attract mussels, oysters, and coral, while their crevices shelter fish, crustaceans, and even octopuses from predators. Despite their horrifying appearance, these structures help protect ecosystems and sustain biodiversity. Still, if you're swimming and catch sight of these nodules lurking beneath the surface, don't blame anyone for mistaking them for the alien spawn. Number 4. The Beast of Bur Port. But discoveries don't need to be alive to send chills down your spine. In 2017, something huge and bizarre washed up on Bur Port Beach in Carmarthenshire, Wales. Covered in writhing, worm-like tendrils, this hulking mass was ominously nicknamed the Beast of Bur Port. However, our old friend reality, otherwise known as Buzzkill, stepped in with an explanation. The beast wasn't a living creature at all, but a piece of driftwood covered in gooseneck barnacles. These crustaceans attach themselves to anything adrift at sea: rocks, ships, or in this case, a large chunk of wood. Their long, black, fleshy stalks resemble wriggling necks, making them look eerily alive. While unsettling, gooseneck barnacles are a delicacy in many countries, valued at about $50 per pound. So, while the residents of Bur Port didn't stumble upon a sea monster, they found a gourmet treasure, though one that cost them a little sanity just to lay eyes on. Number 3. Dollface. There's something deeply unsettling about the fusion of innocence and horror, and this doll head crab epitomizes that eerie blend. Believed to have been photographed on the Pacific's Pitcairn Islands, this image shows a young coconut crab donning a baby doll's head as its shell. Coconut crabs, the world's largest land-dwelling arthropods, use discarded objects to protect their soft abdomens. These massive crustaceans can grow over 3 feet long, rip open coconuts with their claws, and lift up to 66 pounds. But seeing one wander around with a doll's head as its armor elevates their creep factor to nightmare fuel. With declining crab populations and tourists often stealing shells as souvenirs, crabs are forced to improvise, sometimes turning to garbage for protection. This grim adaptation highlights how human carelessness impacts wildlife. Whether you're unnerved by the doll or the crab itself, one thing's for sure: this sight is not for the faint of heart. Number 2. Shoot your yacht. In 2012, far off the coast of King George Island in Antarctica, a ghostly ship lurked beneath the waves. Once a proud Brazilian yacht named March of Millipedes, Sea Without End, was built for exploration, but met its watery grave under the crushing grip of ice. 4 crew members aboard the yacht were filming a documentary when powerful winds and freezing waves trapped the vessel. They were rescued by the Chilean Navy, but the ship wasn't so lucky. Encased in ice, it sank beneath 30 feet of water, becoming a haunting relic of the unforgiving Antarctic seas. Amazingly, the wreck wasn't permanent. A year later, the yacht was dredged up and returned to dry land, though its ghostly presence lingers in tales. While March of Millipedes' story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, its fate is a reminder of nature's icy grip and the unforgiving power of the ocean. Number 1. The Holy Ghost. We're not done with underwater giants yet. Brace yourself for something divine. Off the coast of San Frutuoso, Italy, submerged beneath 55 feet of Mediterranean waters, stands Cristo degli Abissi, Christ of the Abyss. But this isn't the serene Jesus you'd expect. Covered in barnacles and algae, it looks like a relic from a ghost ship. Created by Guido Galletti in 1954, this 8-foot bronze statue was placed in honor of Dario Gonzatti, Italy's first scuba diver. With arms outstretched, the sculpture exudes a haunting presence, a stark reminder of humanity's connection to the ocean. Its eerie allure has inspired replicas in Grenada and Florida's Key Largo, each adding its own spooky underwater charm. Diving to see these statues would be an unforgettable experience, but also a chilling one. Between the haunting ocean atlas and the barnacle-clad Cristo degli Abissi, which sea giant would you rather not stumble upon in the depths? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.